There is an old legend of a powerful alchemist who discovered a set of magical stones. It was said that if he could build a citadel from these stones, time would freeze within its walls and pain would vanish. But the stones carried a curse. They would only lock into place if the alchemist's mind was perfectly still. So he spent decades in a loop of wasted labor. He would set a stone, but then a neighbor would complain, or a family member would fall ill, or the mundane demands of a messy house would pull at his sleeve. He treated life like an interruption. Every time his internal peace shattered, his work fell to dust. He spent 40 years trying to outweigh the messiness of being alive. He told himself, "I will finally finish the wall once I have more energy. I will finally anchor the gates once my treasury is so full I no longer have to worry about the marketplace. I will finally breathe once the noise of my own household is permanently silenced." The man died at the exact moment he finished his masterpiece. As the magic took hold and the walls turned to indestructible crystal, he realized he was the only thing left inside. He had spent 40 years preparing a sanctuary for a life that had already passed him by. As he lay amidst the cold crystal, the stone whispered the truth. The citadel wasn't meant to keep the world out. It was meant to be built while the world was in. He had prepared the stage only to realize the play was over. He was waiting for the wind to stop so he could sail, never realizing that the wind is the only thing that moves the ship. We are the alchemists of the modern age. Our citadel isn't made of stone, it's made of high-yield saving accounts, noise-cancelling headphones, and climate-controlled interiors. We have become the most comfortable generation in history and yet the most fragile. We have mistaken comfort for safety. Your brain is a static state seeker. Like the alchemist, it believes it can finally start once the variables are controlled. It wants to hit pause on reality until the treasury is full and the house is quiet. But in a universe governed by entropy, static is a biological impossibility. Like the alchemist, you are trying to outweigh the messiness of being alive. You end up safe from the noise but terrified of the actual life happening right outside your door. We have to ask the hard question. Why was the alchemist so desperate for silence? Why are we so obsessed with perfect conditions before we allow ourselves to be happy? It's because for many of us, this fragility is a survival mechanism. If you grew up in chaos, if your early life was a storm of unpredictable noise, your nervous system learned that peace was a trap. You learned that vulnerability was a death sentence. You didn't build a citadel to find joy. You built it because you were tired of being hit. You didn't build a ship to explore the world. You built a warship to survive it. The wealth you chase, the perfect body, the silence you demand from your family, these aren't goals, they are armor. You are heavy and exhausted from scanning the horizon for a threat that ended decades ago. But a ship built only for war cannot dance on the waves. It can only sink under its own weight. Awareness is the first heavy lift here. It's realizing that your need to control every variable isn't about your bank account. It's an echo of a past you didn't choose. But consciousness is the pivot. This is where you transmute the lead of survival into the gold of presence. You are finally teaching your body that the war is over. Then comes the trap of comparison. We see someone else's calm sea and wonder why our water is so choppy. We forget we are sailing entirely different vessels. You cannot finish a work that isn't yours. Accepting your life exactly where you stand with your heavy warship, your cracked stones, and your loud, messy reality is the only way to move. Stop staring at their horizon. Stop measuring your speed against someone else's current. Their calm is often a hard-won peace from storms you never saw. Instead, master your own stones. Fulfillment isn't a destination you reach. It's the art of being whole while the stones are still falling. You don't need the storm to pass to be the captain. So here are 3 things you can keep in mind to help you navigate life better. Number 1, the someday divorce. Stop waiting for the stones to lock before you start living. The chaos isn't the impurity, the chaos is the ingredient. Second, the 5% rule. When the work feels too heavy, find the 5% that is still beautiful. The breath in your lungs, the strength in your hands, the fact that you are still here. Number 3, the baseline audit. Stop looking at the gap between you and the perfect citadel. Instead, look back at the village you have already left behind. Remind yourself how far you have come. So remember, the silence you are waiting for is just another name for the end. You were never meant to just survive the world, you were meant to experience it. The noise is the life. So stop rehearsing and just start being.